forces are upon us.
We went to the beginning. Many years ago, 20 years ago, the first Warcraft game came out, Orcs and Humans, and it was all, and that was really the story of the first contact between the Orcs, which were these giant, massive creatures that left their home world because it was dying, and they had to find a new place to live. And they invaded this world of Azeroth, which is where our film takes place. And it's really about the conflict of those two cultures sort of finding themselves in the same place. Hey, I mean, I've played these games for a long time, so I thought if there was any way that in places where hopefully it doesn't pull the audience out, I could reference those things. I thought it would be a fun thing to do. So whether it's sort of Sergio Leone shots during some of the duels, sort of the one-on-one duels in the film, or the sort of more the RTS sort of isometric view camera, yeah, we tried to put them in there. Yes, there was absolutely something I wanted to show, but even I knew that it wasn't appropriate because of the specific time frame in the Warcraft story that we were looking at. But there are these creatures called Tauren, which you may know about, which are basically Minotaur. They're just giant bull men and women, bull men and bull women. I would have loved to have put those characters into the film, but you know, I think if we get the chance to make one or two more, I know how I could sneak them into a sequel. It'd be a lot of fun to put in a movie. Well, not to get too spoilery, but at the end of our movie, we have, we still have a few characters. We lose a few characters along the way, but we still have a few characters that we bring through with us. But then there's also kind of an upcoming generation, and I would certainly want to have an amount of focus on those youngsters as they get older. Well, I certainly think on a genre level, yeah. I mean, you just have to look at how incredibly successful comic book movies have become, and the fact that Star Wars is having this amazing resurgence as they're kind of bringing in all of these new, all this new blood to work on their movies. And I think the transition of games into movies is something that's had kind of a rough history, but maybe maybe we're starting to get there with hopefully films like Warcraft, and I know Assassin's Creed's coming out later on as well. I think in the past it has been a tricky thing to do. I think it's become much easier now because they're able to do it within the environments that you're shooting in. So I think Planet of the Apes was one of the ones that first kind of cracked that technology, and fortunately we were able to build on top of that. So we were actually physically building all of these beautiful film sets, so that we had all of this stuff in camera, and then we would have Toby in his silver pajamas with his balls on, and his funny helmet. We would have him and all of the other orc characters in those live action environments. So we would be moving the camera and capturing the live action elements in the background, and then knowing that we were going to be able to replace him with our orc characters after the fact. I mean, it's been fantastic. I mean, I think it's weird for me because I'm so UK and US centric as far as the movies I see and where I see them. And with this film, we opened up in France first, and then in the Philippines and Belgium, and I think Russia's now open, Indonesia, and it's kind of slowly sort of patchwork moving its way across the world. So every day new countries are getting it, and I'm getting a sudden barrage of different languages as people say that they love the film. But there are Warcraft fans everywhere. I think that's one of the things that I've learned from this.